Hi everybody, David Lockwood here, and there we go with a little message. Okay, so we're going to get a lot of these little dings or whatnot. They're just notifications, so hopefully not a lot, but it's all good. Um, so I just to follow up with the video I just posted about Orgone and 5G, etc. I've been, following this ever since this started to appear on the internet. And when they had all this plans, there was a lot of conspiracy videos, some of them good, some of them credible. But that's not the reason, to start posting this stuff. It's basically just to, talk about the facts and give you an easy way to protect yourself. Now, one of the things uh, that this is all about is making some orgonite. Now, I think Martin was it that put some pictures there of these big pyramids that they build and all the rest, and that they're beautiful. And I built pyramids myself, and but I needed to be, simplified and to uh, do something that was strong. It was compact, it was small, and yet it still did the trick. So I'm going to just show you the steps in doing all of this, and and then we'll see how things go from here. Okay, so just give me a sec to set up. Okay, so here I am, and I need the screen so I can show you all the products and sort of like basically the steps that you've got to do. So we're first of all going to begin with this product right here. Let me just get this in focus. Okay, and of course, it's upside down on the screen. Maybe it's not once I process it, but maybe it is. I don't know. I probably should have got a picture of it. It's called ice resin. All right, and you can see I just got a little bit on both left, and one is like a gold color and the other is a blue. So one is a hardener and one is the resin. You mix them both together in equal parts, and it's not quite as toxic as the resin that you would make or epoxy that you make to do fiberglass molding in cars, which I've done before. I've tried that fiberglass epoxy and mixing it together to do um, different shapes and everything of Orgonite, but it's just too strong. It just the pieces still smell of it after, and it's just something that doesn't go away. With ice resin, it's still toxic. You have to have a mask on and gloves and probably eye protection and all the rest. But we're not making like a mixer full or anything. We're just going to basically do let me get my table over here. I'll show you what I mix it in. I use um, I use these little, like, they're almost like medical cups. You can buy these on Amazon, and they're very, very cheap for 100. Um, that's one of the ones if I'm making molds, like little molds. And then if I'm doing like big things, I'm going to be using things like this. And you can see it's black inside because of the black iron oxide that I use. And there you go in these things. And I sometimes use them more than once. You're going to need popsicle sticks. Okay. And sorry, phone's ringing, notifications. That's life, eh? You're going to need popsicle sticks. And you can buy these also. You can go to Michael's and you can purchase this stuff. Okay. But that's what I use to mix. And get a pair of gloves, like yellow ones, blue ones. This stuff you do if you don't want dish detergent and dishpan hands. There's yellow ones, there's blue ones, but you should wear gloves too because it can burn the skin. I don't want to make this sound like it's difficult or it's dangerous because I just jumped right into it and I've I might have had the odd little sting or burn because when I was doing something where the glove broke or something, but I've been pretty solid. I make sure the room is ventilated, put a fan on. Try to do it outside if you can. If you have nice weather right now, it's the perfect places to go and do it outside. But I've done a lot of it inside too, as long as it's the ice resin. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so you got the ice resin, so you're going to mix it 1 to 1. Then I use this. I put about a tablespoon. Let me see. Let me get this. Oh, I don't know if this is all backwards to you. Anyways, it's called Black Oxide. All right, and it's just in powder form. I got this on Amazon, and it's if I can get this open. Anyways, it's made by Alpha Chemicals, and this one is 5 pounds. And the only reason I got 5 pounds is because it was I was doing a lot. I was making a lot of it, and I'll just show you. I'll just kind of get this up, and hopefully I don't spill this. Okay, and I guess you've seen black before, but that's what it is, okay? And you'll see why I use that. Well, first of all, because there's iron oxide in it, and that's about the size of the spoon that I use. So I do a heaping spoon of that. Again, it depends. You don't want it to, you want to have it even. So if you have like the two even things, pour them in and start mixing them up with the stick. Then that's great. Okay, so the next thing that you want to use, I think well, I got a picture of it, but I'm just going to show you. Okay, this here, let me get this up high enough. This is quartz sand. Okay, this is just play sand. Okay, you can see that right about there. Okay, so this is called play sand, and it's by I think it's made by King. You can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, any kind of place like that. Now, why do I use play sand? Play sand, or this brand, and I don't know if I can get the this picture up here. Let me just switch back to here. Let me see if that works. There it is right there. Okay, so you've seen this bag, I'm sure, when you've been in Home Depot or in anywhere that sells like concrete and rock and pebbles. And this is quartz sand. It's just full of quartz. Quartz is very good when you're making orgonite. Okay, and then let's go back to this one here. That's me. Okay, so now what you want to do is that you're going to stir, first of all, the resin. I'll mix that together, the hardener and the resin. You're going to put that spoon of black oxide in. You're going to put about a cupful of sand. It all depends on how big your thing that you're going to do. So just a minute, I got to duck down here for 1 sec. Okay. So when I make them, I use muffin pans. Okay. So you can see there's a piece cut out of there. That's because they got stuck. Well, I didn't put enough oil in it, and or you can rub any kind of oil in there because the resin will stick to the metal if you don't do that. And I had to cut it out, and I had to cut out the orgonite. Then there's the real big ones. These, okay, these are the real big ones that you can make. Now, something like that, you put that in your house. Your whole house is protected, believe it or not. It makes like a whole bubble over the house. It's really amazing. Now, it's like the way that you can tell the effectiveness of this is that you can either download an EMF detector on your cell phone. A lot of them are free. but they're not really that good. If you want to buy one off of your phone at Play Store or iPhone Store, they do have them available there, and they're a little better. Okay, um, so you can do that. Now, I also make. Just let me get my phone back down here. Sorry. Okay. So I also make molds. All right, and you can see here molds. And if you want to get into this too, you can buy packages of molds. All right, and you can just fill it in. And each one of these has a, what should I say? They've got little holes. So example, this is one right here that get it up. This is one that I carry around with me all the time. I put that in my pocket, okay? And this is just, I just put some, I was experimenting and I put some like glow coloring in it, and it just to kind of fool around. But this is also Orgonite. It just doesn't have the black oxide in it. But that was just fooling around. And then I've got, let me just get these out here. Geez, you think I had diamonds in here. Oh, man. Anyways, on these little ones, like this, okay? And you can see there's a hole in there. So people like to put it either around their neck, they like to put like a string on it, or they attach it to something else. So what the first thing I do is you can get these at Michael's. These are little eye hooks. I let it just kind of focus in there. And you can screw that into the Orgonite. Now what happens when the epoxy hardens, it's pretty tough to sometimes screw it in. So I resort to a good old drill bit. All right, this is a little thick. I do have the right size one, but this, I just wanted to show you an example. I had one on my table. Okay, and you're going to use a drill. Best to put it into a vise because you don't want this slipping in, like going into your finger. Not good. So you want to use something like this to drill your little hole, and then you can have either these are little eye rings here. Let's go up like this. So when you put your screw in your eye hook, then you can attach this, and put your chain through there, and therefore it's always going to be free flowing, and you won't be getting the back of something to your chest or whatever. You can have a bracelet. You can make a bracelet, do anything like that. Now, I want to show you what the end result is. Okay, so the end result is this. Okay, it almost looks like a hockey puck. Okay, and this is completely done. Black oxide, epoxy, the sand. There's even some pieces of metal in here. It's brass, copper. It can be anything like this. I had a number of pyramids, but I find that this here is the easiest to make. It's the strongest formula, the one I'm giving you. And I got this from somebody on the internet, and I got to give him credit, but I don't remember his name or the video that it's on. But it's not my formula. It's not something that I kind of got the chemistry set out, and that's what I did. I've sort of like given away my pyramids, but this is one that actually the top got stuck into the mold, and it broke off. Okay, and you can see where it broke off right there, and you can see all the gems and everything that's inside this. Now, and I had a couple of big jars of 1964 pennies, copper, which they class them as sorry, ah, brilliantly. It's like better than unconditioned. So that's uncirculated. And so copper is so good. Now, what you see quite often, and they say to do this, and I'm just, and here's some of the other stuff that you can put in. You can put, that's just leaf. It's not that's not the gold one. I've got silver. There's amethyst crystals in here. And then I got lots of other different kinds of crystals that I use. Now, if you look at if you're looking at a lot of the stuff on the internet, they talk about having a crystal in the middle of the pyramid. So here is a big quartz crystal, okay, and you usually stick this in the middle. And so the thing is that the quartz sand has a lot of this crushed into the sand, the play sand. So that's why it makes it so powerful. All right, so that's why it's very good. And I've got copper wire and everything that I just wind around it, right? And I stick that in, and that's supposed to be really good to pull in signal and to send it out. All right. So that's another thing. Here's the copper. You can see that. Oh, now let's go like this. There's some little crystals in here, and there's also some copper which you can push out in the middle, and then it can go on top of any crystal. So yeah, it's a lot to take in right now, but I mean, it's evolved over the time that I've been doing this. But I've come down to the fact that this here is the easiest, it's the most convenient, and one of these, even the small ones here, one of these pretty much protects the house. And there's another picture I wanted to show you. I've made some of these, and let me just get this up, and then let me make it just a little bigger there. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay, so this is going to be hard to see. Maybe I can. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so here's what you can do. Down in here is where like, let's just say it was my mixture. So there's the mixture, but before it hardens, you put in these copper pipes. And then you can put crystals into the copper pipes or gems, and they fall down the bottom. But the Orgonite is down in this area, which is holding these pipes. He's got some ties on here. Now that's a big one. Okay, so, but if you just wanted to do a home one, oh, I don't have that picture. So, but you can just do a little one with copper pipe. So that also works. Also, you can get a copper pipe about this big. Okay, and let me just go back to this one. All right, come on. There we go. So you can do a copper pipe about this big, and then you pull a copper wire up the side of it down into the tube, and then you wrap saran wrap, tin foil, saran wrap, tin foil, depending on how many times you go around, makes it stronger and stronger and stronger. But that's a little bit of work to do. But as I said before, this one here, the best. I can put all kinds of things into this little thing, and you can't even see the stuff in here. This isn't one that's a visual thing that you would put on your coffee table, but it can go everywhere, and it certainly does protect your house. The copper tubes that you saw, what that does, if you have a lot of chemtrails, like I know California's always gotten a lot of chemtrails, and that's in their backyard, it actually clears up in the atmosphere the chemtrails, and it makes like a hole above the house in the area. Everybody else is under chemtrails, but this kind of will clear that. Just an interesting note before I wind this up. when I was looking for some images on Google Images and I put on in Orgone or Orgone Energy, stuff like that, or Orgonite, started to get the pictures and then it froze. My screen froze. And it said, would you like to wait or want to close it? So every time I was doing that, they have some protections in there. Now let me just explain the difference between PoE and DOE. All right. So the DOE is bad energy, and this comes from your towers, 5G towers. It comes from a nuclear power plant. It comes from fluorescent lights. Any computer that's on right now. I usually have something like this, pretty close to the computer all the time, and I have one by my son's bed and things like this. But the thing is that it still lets whatever you're using, it still works. But the energy, which can be bad, they call it DOP, can be bad. If you have Orgonite, okay, around that, it changes it to PoE. So it's positive Orgone energy, okay, and that's the good stuff. So it kind of mitigates the effect of 5G on you in a negative way. So, and as you saw in the video, people have gone around, they've thrown in these pucks, okay, at the base of towers or buried them in the base of towers to basically change the energy to positive energy. They have equipment now that they can detect this very easily, and then they dig them up and they scan a lot of places. If you live near high power towers and wires, very good to get get this Orgonite thing in your house to protect you because that's pretty strong stuff coming in. They're putting up 20,000 satellites that will beam Orgonite which will beam 5G onto the Earth, okay, transmitting. That's 20,000 satellites. There's going to be 50,000 towers erected and on streets because it doesn't travel well, 5G. Every 8 to 10 feet, they're going to have little boxes. And these boxes are transmitting 5G. So you're going to be bombarded. So I'm not saying that Healy can't protect you. I'm sure that they've taken that into consideration, but why not add to it? As you saw, it's all about frequencies, and it's changing, the bad frequencies to good frequencies. And if whatever you have that can help you out additional to your Healy, then go for it. And I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I have to say I've always felt great. So that's about the end of it. I'm sure we're going to have follow up. I'll have another video, not a video, I'll have another Zoom webinar coming up. I'll try to do it this week, and then I know there'll be a lot of questions after seeing this. So thanks, everybody. I know it's a little lengthy. It's 23 minutes or so, but it's well worth to watch this, okay? And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.